All right, Module 3. Let's talk about limitations, challenges, and barriers. I put this up to the top for a purpose, for a reason. I want to make sure that we rip this band aid off, talk about the negative things early on, and let's get over that hump. So let's start. Notice in your language when you're saying or talking about what you're doing, or even in your thoughts, when you hear the word should, right? That word. It's really difficult to remove it completely out of our language, but my ears perk up when I hear myself think or say should. Okay, so I'll give you some examples. I should try harder, or there's something wrong with me. I hear shoulds in coaching sessions and my ears perk up. I'm like, what's being said after that? What is the meaning behind that? Okay. And in this situation, that's a comparison statement, comparing one to another, and that's very demotivating, right? And it's also thinking that there's something wrong, or insinuating there's something wrong because you're not trying as hard as someone else. Okay, so there's a heavy expectation, a lot of pressure. And remember, our brain is going to pull us away from things that cause us pain and pull us towards things that feel good. So this statement, this language, if we're saying it, we're oftentimes thinking it on repeat, repeat, repeat. So it's like hypnosis. So it's really important. It's really key to turn up your awareness. And awareness is something that I really focus in on other programs that I'm going to publish, but also in my coaching sessions. Awareness is really key. Noticing your language, noticing your words. They impact your action tremendously. All right, so another one would be I should do better, or something of that effect, okay? I should do better. I should eat better. I should be better. I should be taller. I don't know. That's probably not a good one. Can't control that. But, just shoulding yourself. Let's get rid of that should word. Just take notice from this point forward when that word should is coming up in your language. Notice it when other people say it too, and what the context is, how they're using it. No one likes unsolicited advice. So it's not saying to correct them, but just pay attention and notice the energy behind the words. What's the energy? Is there judgment? Is there shame? Is there pressure? Often there is. When there's judgment, shame, pressure, guilt, we don't move forward. We stay stuck. We stay in the same pattern. We don't move out of the rut. So what would be a should statement that you can think of? Go ahead and put it in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I love feedback. I love comments. I love engagement. But I'd like to know what should statement pops up for you. Shoulds put a lot of pressure on ourselves, or even others. Notice it when you're using the should word to other people. Kids, siblings, spouses, people you work with. Maybe you're a boss, maybe you own a business. Notice when you're using that word should, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of meaning that can be created. There's a lot of times that people take that word personally. So notice when that word is coming up in your language. A should is presuming there's some sort of outcome, an expectation of, some rule or some arbitrary idea out there that it should be a certain way. It's fitting in the box, fitting in the mold. It's a very touchy word. So notice it. But this word, this shoulding, is a type of negative thinking pattern that can cause a feeling of doubt, right? Can cause a lot of fear in a person. And we don't want that. Again, the brain is going to move you towards things that feel good and away from things that don't feel good. So doubts and fears pull us further and further away from what we want to achieve. And I notice that a lot when I first start working with someone, when they have a lot of shoulds in their language. And actually, that usually comes up in our first conversation. I should lose weight. I should eat better. I should quit drinking. I should eat more vegetables. I should join a gym. I should, all these shoulding, right? It's painful. So it's a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, pulls us away from our goals. Doubting oneself can often make a person feel frustrated, right? That guilt, that shame ends up washing over us when we don't achieve what we want to achieve, and especially if we feel like we keep failing and we don't understand why. A lot of it I can help navigate through a series of coaching sessions. I love coaching people through their hypnosis, if you will. It's self-created self-doubt and language, but what we say, is just a tiny fraction of what we think. And what's interesting, when I'm in a coaching session, oftentimes it's just 30 minutes and I'll hear someone say the same statement over and over and over again in 30 minutes, the same exact sentence sometimes, or some variation of it. So I know, in fact, in their brain, it's just back there, whoop, whoop, it's on repeat. It's like hypnosis. It creates this way of being, this way of thinking. It holds that story in place. We can't pull out of that rut. It's impossible. So you're not going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve with a bunch of shoulding. So what I hear a lot in coaching is I should lose weight. I should work out. I should walk more. I should take better care of myself. I should take a break every once in a while. I should eat better. I should put myself first, but I don't. I should drink more water. I should work harder. I should be doing better. I should read more. I should find a better job. I should speak up more. I should be more confident. I should move. I should stop people pleasing. You see how this, I know you've heard this shoulding. Shoulds are an attractive form of criticism, or an active form of criticism, not attractive. It's an active form of self-criticism. These statements suggest that we don't accept who we are, or it oftentimes is judgments on others. Right? So if you're not accepting who you are, and you're not proud of who you are, you're not confident who you are, you're comparing yourself to others, it's totally demotivating. It's going to keep you stuck. So oftentimes this is that invisible barrier, invisible challenge, or this stuckness that a lot of people contact me about that they just don't understand. Like, I want this so bad, and I can't figure out why I'm stuck in this habit. I'm stuck in this rut. I'm stuck in doing the same thing. It's because you're creating your own hypnosis. You have this judgment, this criticism, this guilt, this shame, this feeling, this sense about you that you can't finish or complete what you set out to achieve. And when we break that trust within ourselves, it's just like breaking trust with a friend. Once that trust is gone, it's gone. So let's build that trust back up. Let's create smaller goals, ones that you can achieve, ones that you can celebrate, ones that we can say, hurrah, we did this, and prove to yourself that you are capable. You are worthy, you are valued, you are important. But when we criticize and reject ourselves, easy in just this subtle manner, right? This silent killer, we create anxiety and stress in our minds. And that anxiety and stress overflows into our bodies and creates all kinds of other havoc, right? Creates increased cortisol, lack of sleep, overthinking, overanalyzing. I mean, it just goes on. So shooting yourself and others is causing chaos. It's preventing you from achieving what you want to achieve. The things that we think we should do, right? Yeah, heavy, right? Often we don't align with, when we say what we should do doesn't align with what we want. It's truly not important. So, an example would be I should go to the gym today. If I catch myself thinking or saying that, because again, I'm human, words come out of my mouth, thoughts come into my mind, I catch it. And I go, no, Catherine, it's important to me to go to the gym today. I reframe it. And it feels so different. The energy behind it is completely different. So notice the shoulding. And if you need to, go back to module 1 and really sort out what it is that you want. Actually, I think it's module 2. It's the last module. Yeah, module 2. Go back to module 2 and figure out what it is that you want. Really define it in a powerful, strong language. So in your language, are you saying, I want to run a marathon, right? So maybe that's not your desire. This is just an example. So just fill in the blank. Instead of marathon, if it's something totally different, I understand. I am not a marathon runner. So I can relate. But I wanted to use something that was kind of, versatile and short and sweet. So in your language, meaning what comes out of your mouth, what you're thinking, are you saying, I want to run a marathon? Or are you saying, I need to run a marathon? Or are you saying, I have to run a marathon? Notice 3 different words. Want, need, and have. 3 totally different words. What's the difference between want, need, and have to? What if it was something else like landing a plane? Okay, so it's no longer running a marathon, now it's landing an airplane. And you have 50 passengers on the plane. I want to land the plane. I need to land the plane. I have to land the plane. What's the energy behind each one of these words? How do they impact the energy, the feeling, the confidence, the feeling, the sense of security behind it? I want to land the plane. I have to land the plane. There's this pressure behind it. I need to land the plane. Need almost feels like there's this pressure again, this expectation from others. Neediness, right? So which one sounds most confident? Which one sounds most sure, most certain, positive, uplifting, and motivating? What do you call that voice in your head, right? That voice in your head could be disempowering or it can be empowering, right? So whenever I hear myself say, I should run a marathon, I want to run a marathon, I have to run a marathon, I need to run a marathon, I always move to, it's important to me to run this marathon. Feel like that word is charged. I feel like it is exciting. I feel like it's important. It has a priority around it. So play with that. Let me know in the comments what you notice about language. And again, I teach awareness, up-leveling that, how to do that, which allows you a greater wisdom and clarity to hear when you say or think these words in coaching and in other programs. But anyways, back to that disempowering voice in your mind. We all have them, right? Some of us probably have more than one voice. Some of us might have one, and it might be very quiet and very subtle. Some of us have really loud voices, that little voice in your head. And, so one of them I had recently is I'm not in the mood to go to the workout, actually. I'm not in the mood to work out. That's what that little disempowering voice said. I'm not in the mood. And so what that tells me is that just tells me my state of mind in that moment. Might have been lost, might not have been feeling well. Actually, this was yesterday I had this, and when I put this in the notes, I'm not in the mood to work out. Or you could fill in the blank with, I'm not in the mood to go to the gym. But what I did is I quickly shifted the language to, you know what, it's important for me to work out. And I did. And in that moment, because I said it's important to me to work out, I just did a small workout, 20 minutes. That's all I did. But I felt good about it. I felt energized by it. In fact, in my mind, when I said it's important for me to work out, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to show up today. I'm going to do 10 minutes. It ended up being 20 minutes. So I doubled my time. Like, it wasn't planned that way. But once I got into it, I was like, yeah, I want to finish this. Like, I really want to I'm into this. I'm enjoying this. Like, I'm just warmed up. Like, I'll go another 10 minutes. See? So saying that it's important to me, one, it got me into the workout. And then once I got into it and it felt good, I just kept going and doubled the time that I anticipated doing. Another disempowering thought that I had today, in fact, is I just don't have time. I just don't have time. And I stepped back when I heard myself think that, and I go, you know what? That's not true. This is important to me. I do have time. See how by using that one word, shifting the language just a little bit, saying it's important to me, I show up. And I'm proud of it. I feel empowered. I feel excited. I show up full-heartedly. I'm present. I'm there because it's important to me. So notice your language. Notice your shoulds, wants, needs, have tos. And see if you can switch out that language. Let me know in the comments what you learn, what you discover, what your insights are, how it is applied in your life, what sentence you're using it in, or context. Love to hear it. Today I took a poll on Facebook to find out what it is that you name that inner critic, right? Like, I always think of like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, right? So these are the voices in my head. So I have two. I have the devil and the angel. They're always in conflict, But what is it that you call your inner critic? What is the name of your inner critic? Obviously, inner critic would be great. We got the devil, the angel. We had Diablo. Someone said it's fear. Right? They name their voice in their head as fear. Someone said it was coworkers, family. Someone said SOB. I'm just going to leave it at that because this is the video and I don't know who's watching or listening. Someone called it trouble. Oh, okay, there you go again, trouble. Sometimes I actually say, yeah, Catherine, thanks, but I'm going to take a pass on that. Right? So I'll actually address the voice in my head as Catherine, as my own name. But I always kind of think of it as the devil and the angel back there and talking to me. But what impact does this voice have on you, right? The devil, the angel, the disempowering voice. Maybe it is your family members. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your dad. But what does this voice have on you, right? Does it allow you to be successful, or does it limit you? Does it stop you? Does it prevent you from reaching your goals? Let me know in the comments. I have great success in helping my clients navigate through that voice. Oftentimes when I first start working with clients, that voice is really strong. A lot of times they believe that voice. They believe what's said is true, and they latch on to a lot of the things that are being said and believe it. And that's a lot of times what's keeping them stuck. So I love helping clients navigate through those thoughts, right? The overthinking, the overanalyzing, the thoughts that are keeping them stuck. So, yeah. But what is it that you're going to need to sacrifice when starting, creating, working towards your goal, whatever it is, breaking a habit, starting a new habit? What are you willing to sacrifice, right? I wanted to talk about this in this module because there's always something to sacrifice. Always. So you don't aim for any goal unless you understand what the sacrifice is first, okay? And there might be some sacrifices that you don't predict, that you'll figure out and find along the way. I totally understand that. But there are things that I feel are vital to look ahead and be able to navigate them, prepare for them, plan for them, understand what the sacrifice is. What is the sacrifice? Typically it's time or money, or both, right? So what is the sacrifice? What are you giving up to bring this new thing into your life? Okay, because you can't keep adding to your plate before taking something off. So what can you take off your plate to make space for this new habit, this new goal, this new whatever you're bringing onto your plate? Another way to word this is you have to prune back the hedges to make room for the new branches. So what are you willing to shuffle around to ensure that you have the time block, the dedication, the money, the actions you need to happen every day leading up to your overarching goal? What is it that you need to have in place? So what is your investment? What is the time? What is the money that you need? Do you have what it takes? Are there things that you need to get into place first before crossing that starting line? So how will you manage and cope when life happens? Because it will. I guarantee it will. I absolutely guarantee it will. You know, we all set goals and we often don't plan ahead for life, right? I see that a lot come New Year's. A lot of people have these huge overarching goals and they're super excited and they're thrilled and they're excited and just pants on fire. But consider the unpredictability of life. Give yourself extra space, extra cushion. And also be prepared to give yourself grace when things happen. Forgiveness. You know, because we all are going to experience the loss of a loved one, whether it be a pet, a family member, a friend, someone we care deeply about. Oftentimes we get sick, you know, at least a few times a year. Injuries are common and they occur, right? Hospitalization, surgeries. Are you giving yourself wiggle room? You know, coaching is really awesome. It gives you the support that's needed, especially during this part of your journey when you get stuck. It's having someone in your court that reaffirms you, that's there, that's supportive when things go sideways, and reassuring you that things in life that happen are normal and you're not alone. Okay? Letting you know that the unexpected happens, but someone there to help pick you back up, brush you off. Someone that helps and guides you and makes sure that you do have that wiggle room. Someone there that gives you that guidance. Someone there that, you know, tells you that you are human and allowed to take a week off. Someone that's there that holds you accountable. Someone that's there that understands your why and how it's so important to you to pick back up and start over again. So anyways, let me know in the comments what it is that you foresee, making sure that you have wiggle room. What are you planning for? For me, for instance, doing bodybuilding, it's deeply taught me how to give myself wiggle room and grace. Just a couple weeks ago, I did a show for this year, my one and only show for 2023 or 2022. Why am I jumping ahead? And I was sick for about a week and a half. Now I missed, actually 2 different things happened. There were 5 days I didn't work out. I had an allergic reaction to some supplements. You won't see me promoting supplements. Anyways, so I had to go to urgent care. It was really bad. Anyways, overcame that. But 5 days I couldn't work out. I couldn't drive for 6 days. I really felt impaired. Anyways, so that derailed me. But then also I got sick again for like a cold or flu or something. I don't know. It was a week and a half where there were 3 days I didn't work out, which, you know, to me is a lot. That's 8 days that I had planned on working out. And so anyways, I give myself wiggle room. I always give myself about 2 weeks wiggle room when planning for a show, for injuries, for sickness, for whatever. Life gets in the way, right? Things happen. So it's really important to give yourself wiggle room. And so yeah, I've learned this through my own living, but I also know that life happens. I watch my clients come to me with excitement and joy and have these plans and have, these rigid, I want to do this in 2 weeks or 6 months or a year, and life happens. So it's planning and preparing and giving yourself that wiggle room, giving you that padding. So I always encourage that. So let me know in the comments below what stood out, what you heard. How are you inspired to give yourself grace and wiggle room? See you in the next one.